Yo. How's it going, guys? I don't know what's going on with my pen display. So we might just be doing this with my mouse. Finally caught the stream. Yeah, how you doing, Shokri? I mean, of course you're going to catch the stream if you want feedback. Luan, what's up, dude? Yo. Yeah, I don't know why my screen's not turning on. It's a little concerning. I'm going to have to look at that afterwards. Wanted feedback last 2 times, but I was just too busy to even look at Discord. Dude, life, man. Life gets crazy sometimes. It's all good, though. You get feedback, you know, when you're ready. We find a way. We just close this thing. 5 out of 10? Are you saying life's 5 out of 10 right now? This year's a bit intense. It's not too crazy, but I mean, you feel it. You know what I'm saying? Green Wave, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Helen, yo, hello. Hello, hello. Oh, I need to put my captions on. Hang on here. Jolix, or Jolix, depending on the Swedish accent. If you're in the chat, so in our Discord critiques, we only look at a single piece. So let me know which one you want me to look at. You can just edit your message and just let me know which one you want me to focus on first or primarily. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so let me just lower this down. Man, I may have eaten too much, so I'm a little I'm a little slow. I don't know if you guys saw the Metro 2039. I'll check it out after the stream, but it looked interesting. Okay, I'm gonna get to the critiques channel, or thread rather. Man, you guys posting some bangers, some good looking stuff in here. If you're tuning in and you've never been to the server, yeah, no worries, Jolix. Here's the Discord. And there's a channel that you can, if you look at the announcements channel, you'll see what we're posting to. It'll be linked in there. It's week 16 Discord critiques. Okay, I'm going to go to my own music and then we'll get started. How are you guys doing? Is your week going okay? Outside of the 5 out of 10 vibes. Eden, what's up? Good to see you. How's your, have you had tea in your mug yet? For anyone who's like, what the hell, what's he talking about? Eden came over to Malmo. We got lunch, and then I gave her an Empire mug, which is very coveted. You almost have to meet me in order to get one. That's basically how it works. What was I doing? Music, yes. Just gonna get my own tunes on here. Power, what's up? How you doing? I'm just getting some music on, and then we ride. We ride at dawn. I just need where? Where's my stuff? I somehow got the special item. I mean, you came to Sweden twice and swung by, made the effort to swing by to say hello. I think that might count towards something or another, you know. Okay. We're going to start with Shokris here. Yeah, that's why you did it. Let me drag Shokris stuff onto the screen, and then we'll switch shots, and you can see what we're looking at. Just give me a second here. Yeah, and Reed got tea out of it, man. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. I think we're good. I look short. We can't have short. There we go. Yeah, dude, let's freaking go. Okay. Shokri. All right, so just going to kind of click through some of these shots. It's looking pretty cool. Oh, I just freaking lowered my mic. There we go. No, this is looking rad. I'm just going to go through these, and then we'll read your message. Oh, nice openings in the... Okay, yeah. Very nice. Okay, so Shokri is saying, oh man, this is... Why have I never had this problem before? What's going on here? I'm like, chat and other things. Hey, so finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is a big project for sure. With this project, so I wanted to share it. I'd really appreciate another set of eyes on it. Let me know what I could fix or improve. I'm still missing decals, a bit more foliage like moss and vines, and some VFX such as dust particles. After that, you'll move to rendering. Any kind of critique is more than appreciated. So any kind of critique, let's go. Let's freaking go. Okay, so I already lost the freaking window. Hang on here. There we go. Okay. So we're looking through these shots. I think what I will do is just start dragging these in. We'll start with this one. So generally the shot looks pretty good. Like from this angle, this looks pretty cool. I think what you're having to deal with is like balancing the elements of the space to try and figure out compositionally how to like push this further, you know, or how to get like better readability. So for example, like this big ring here, you don't really notice it. The light does hit a little bit of the elements here, but like getting some type of like highlight on this edge would be really helpful. So that way you notice it separated out from the backdrop maybe. There is some fog that's separating the space a little bit, but like I don't think you're like value-wise, you don't get a sense of understanding of the composition. Like it's hard to know that this pillar is in front of this wall and is in front of this wall until you understand the like you read the shot and you understand the perspective a bit more, right? So like just getting those things to pop more is going to help a ton. So let's just delete these. We don't have too many posts today, so I might be able to get some deeper critiques going on. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's start by we won't push the dark values really. One thing I'm noticing is this little window here. is very, very dark. So that looks a little strange. And then also over here, it feels really, really dark as well. But let's maybe like do this, and we'll pump up the gamma a little bit more. So what I'm trying to get is some type of a lighting that we can mask out, right? So if let's invert that, and we'll just paint this away. I'm just gonna like quickly doodle some scribbly action here. Not intended to be perfect or anything. And of course I'm doing this with my mouse, so no judging. Okay, so if you can get like a little bit of separation here, you can see already just doing that, we start to get a sense of depth, right? Like the pillar pops away, and maybe, of course, maybe it's a bit strong, like up here. You're getting some pretty serious blowout, so be careful with like how bright things get and also how dark things get. So we've got the layer where we're painting like to try and get more separation, but then we also have things that are like too dark and too bright. Those are things to think about. So compositionally, how do you layer things, right? These are like these design questions. Let me see if I can composition and design. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, so getting elements to separate out along with balancing your values. And then the next layer I would say to focus on is understanding the surfaces that you're portraying in your scene, and then finding out where those are breaking. So when we're looking at the composition that I was highlighting with just getting some separation, this is going to help a lot, I think, for this type of detail. Of course, again, not perfect or anything, but getting some lower light on there and just getting those pillars to pop, right? So first we get the pillars to pop. We start to understand that. Maybe the space, oh, nice. Maybe we do another adjustment where if this piece can't be too much brighter, like maybe material wise, it's just not gonna work that way. We can go the other way, right? Where you start to push darkness a little bit more. Don't be scared of the dark, you know? Let me see if we can paint here. And then I'll invert that. Yeah. And yeah, don't be scared of making things too dark, because then from there you can go in and like use it to also separate out elements. We'll just kind of do this. And you can think about it like that whole back area is just going to be much darker, right? Because it's not getting as much bounce light. So we can, let's see if we can, oh, right, we're paint with splines now. There we go. It's weird. I use Photoshop at work, but then at home I'm using Affinity, so it gets a little confusing. Maybe it's like the black output needs to be more mid-ranged, and then we push this down. It could get a little artificial looking, so you got to be careful, but you can see how like just getting that to pop a bit more is really going to help with like elevating the, let's see if we can't soften this a bit as well. So this is going on the lighter layer. And of course, even if you can just taking maybe the albedo of this ring and brightening it up a bit, because it's rust, right? It's not a metallic material at this point. You're just getting those layers to pop out. Let me just re-chat here real quick. The Blues, dude. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. I know it's your first time here. So you can see how dark this is. It's like maybe like if I squint, this area and this area feel like maybe in a little bit here, feel like the darkest areas of the scene. And then the brightest areas seem to be around here, here, and here, and then up here and a little bit here as well. Maybe a bit here, and then a few hot spots down on the bottom. So you want to be careful and make sure that you're getting some like information in here. So if we like eye drop this, oh nice. Did I just freaking tear that out? That's cool. I'm just gonna pull that over here for now. If we go to color and we just start eye dropping, you can see how bright it is in the luminance value. I don't know, hopefully you can see that, the third bar. It's at like 99. You probably don't want to have that any higher than like maybe like 90, because basically you want to be able to see information even in these bright areas. It doesn't have to be like perfect, but you don't want to be like full blowout. Like getting a difference between the side and the top could be good. Now, foliage-wise, this is starting to go into more of the material side of things. The foliage generally is feeling pretty good, and I think where I'm seeing it break the most is when you can see the underside of your leaves. And I'm assuming this is like just transmission not really hitting fully, or like you can do some fakery of like boosting the emissive brightness on the underside of the leaves, for example. But essentially what you're seeing here is like the underside of the leaves. Like I can see there's transmission in some of these areas, but getting that to go further by like just not having these undersides be so dark is going to go a long ways, right? And I'm seeing it in here as well. So it might just be an ambient thing that needs to be turned up, not in the foliage, but like maybe in the environment itself. Like don't be afraid to like boost the blue in your ambient. And then I think the last things I would probably highlight. I mean, this is a cool scene. It's really cool. Let's look at some of the other shots. Like this one's really rad. Like really, really cool. Again, it's a sense of like trying to figure out how flat some stuff is. Dude, how do I don't want it to be down there. I want it to be up here. Oh, buddy. If I do this, and then reconstruct it backwards, there we go. We're thinking in reverse. Yeah, I think this one, again, is just a matter of like understanding the space. I think because there's patterns that are next to other patterns that are at different depths, you don't really know which one is in front and which one's behind. So that's something to try and find a balance for. You could use some fog cards to just kind of separate that stuff out. Just like, oh yeah, I didn't even see you message that. But yeah, fog cards could be really good. It could be done in post as well. I was just like getting that element in there. Let me see what else this one. So in this shot, the thing I wanted to highlight here is depending on what you're planning, like I'm assuming you want the camera to move through this door. You probably need to make this really feel overgrown if this is like crawling up a lot. And this is supposed to be quite abandoned, right? So let's see here. I'm just going to use a yellow. So this, getting some like overgrowth coming up through the crevices and like just kind of, building up around these areas. Maybe opening this up a bit more to give a sense of a path. It doesn't have to be fully open, but I think this will all help in like getting you to look here, right? The other thing too is like with these leaves, they're very like aligned evenly. What you probably want to be thinking about is that where are we at here? Let me turn this up. There we go. You want to be thinking about the leaves. Basically, leaves are growing in a way where they will never be on top of each other, so they zigzag. They go left and right as they go up, just so they don't have a chance to like shadow block themselves. So they're trying to get light as much as possible. So like this type of alignment is very rare because it's better to align this way and align this way. Oh man, brain. To maximize lighting consumption or like sun coverage. But yeah, I think overall this is going to be a pretty cool shot. And it's just a matter of like getting everything set up here. This one looks like it's the least big facts, the least developed, right? Just because you've been focusing on the inside, which I think is totally fine. But yeah, think about that. Also think about the color of the leaves based on like their age and like the position that they're in. Definitely look at references and see how these lines form. And I would maybe suggest like getting an alpha card of these little bits, like creating a piece that does this, that you can just think about it like, let's pretend that it's a card like this, right? Being able to place that in key areas to just kind of simulate the crawling and the underlayer of like all these micro like roots and vines and stuff that are just kind of covering the surface of the rocks. If you want to get really hardcore with it, you could, which I think would be really cool. You take, you have the general one that does a lot of this, and then you have a single one that does like, why can't I, oh, there we go. Dude, sometimes rotation, size, there it is. Sometimes you want to, you have a kit that does this, right? It's all these like crazy blah, blah, blah. All these like tiny micro vines that you can place as a single prop over and over and rotate and blah, blah, blah. But then you have the one that does a little bit of stuff and kind of follows a direction, or one that follows a direction and then turns. So now you have these two pieces, which allows you to do this, right? And then you have the one that you can place that does this. Maybe you place that straight one here. And then you have the one that turns 90 degrees that you can place here to turn up, or place here and turn down. You could place that turning one around here to go up as well. So you get the sensation that like that the vines, the little micro root vines, are like crawling and following the shape language that's happening on the surface. It's more to like simulate it and not so much to be like super accurate. It just gives you the sensation, which is what you want. You match the vibe, and then the brain fills in the rest. Yeah. But cool. I mean, this is like this shot is pretty sick. I think this one might be my favorite one. I think this is also the one that you're going to have the easiest time getting some like separation from, like get that layering in. This shot, is this the same one? Did I just click the same? No, this one feels more zoomed in. Yeah. So I actually like the deeper shot. Like I think it's an FOV change is what you're doing. I like the depth of this one. I think this one's much more impactful. And remember to try and get that bounce light to just really feel like there's a hot spot here. How is that filling the space? Oh, this one's cool. So this one also feels like an area where it's cool, but it doesn't really feel developed. Like I don't know I don't know if you need to show it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know if you need to show this specifically unless you want us to focus on something in the middle here. But then I would build everything around that focal point. The material difference between this stone and the floor, I would check your colors and see how it feels if they're closer in like temperature. Just to kind of bring everything together. What is this? Is this painted on here? If this is painted on here, we should try and make it feel like it's painted on, because it's hard to tell. It needs like an aging pass or like a wear that kind of reveals some of the surface. Let's see here. I feel like there was another thing I wanted to highlight. Hang on. If it comes to me, I'll bring it up. Oh, this one's cool. This one's also quite strong. There's a little bit of a tangent on the upper area there, but where these like little pieces clip. I think if you give it enough room so that the pieces can finish being in the shot, and then you see a little bit of the ceiling beforehand, this shot is also quite strong. And I think from here, I would be thinking compositionally about how do I end up looking here, but what is this brush? Like, what is this? This one works for me. So you look here, and then you're like, okay, from there, where do I look next? And then I kind of look here, and then I end up looking up here. So you might want to think about how we lead the eye, because it feels like maybe it's here or maybe it's here. And I always like having a sense of a path. So maybe if right now you've got your foliage doing this, and then it's doing this, you got some foliage here, you got a little island here, there's a little island here, this island creeps out and goes back, and then this one goes like this. So when you look at it, this just means this is like how I'm seeing the shapes, right? So these shapes, how do we use these shapes to help navigate the eye? Because right now you can see it's turning into like, let's see if I can do this. It's turning into these spots. And this is another way you could connect the dots, where just having a sense of a path, like maybe pushing this back, pushing this one back, and just giving us a way out. So just something to think about. And like, these don't have to be so binary. Like, get the little bits that kind of creep through the crevices and like the cracks and stuff between the stones, just so that you have like this transition from this area kind of goes out and bleeds into the scene in like a softer way. Because then it'll just naturally turn into the rest of the floor, and it won't feel like you're being blocked. I don't know if that makes sense. Dude, this brush is kind of cool. I like this brush. Anyways, yeah. Really cool scene. You have that ceiling shot as well. I feel like the scale is a little, like, this detail is really cool, but it's so small that when you see it from like this distance, you just don't know that that's what it is, or like that's an actual hole with stone, or with this brick pieces. Like, if those pieces were exaggerated a little bit larger, it might make it a little easier to see. Oh, look at these. You might be able to use these in the front shot with the door. But really cool. Really coming together. Looking super nice. Let me see if we can get back to this shot. We group these. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so think about like how you pop those elements out so that you can read the space more. That's probably the biggest thing I would say for the composition is using the lighting and atmosphere to separate the layers, and then double checking your materials, especially your foliage. And if the mosaic or like detailed paintwork just doesn't have the aging that you would expect it to have, or things are too busy, don't be scared to damage them and age them back so they become a bit more washed, a bit more damaged, a bit more chipped. And that can also help you separate the elements out a bit. Really cool. Really cool stuff. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about this before I hop to the next one? You can see how dark these are. What's the value? Yeah, you can see this is actually black. I think back here it's okay to be black, but maybe in here you need to be getting a little bit more. Raggedy, what's up, dude? It's huge. No, pretty sick. These are, dude, such some blowout action. I wonder if, real quick, if I just do a levels on this, if I try and darken it, is there information there to play with? Oh, there's some stuff in there, but you can see like I don't have a lot of room to like move the pixels around. So you're gonna just want more range. You're missing like a good chunk of like your mid to upper range to play with. And the reason we look at that type of stuff is because you want that range to be able to move around in post. Tricky to adjust. I would say just make sure that while this is the brightest point, that it's not fully bright and the darkest areas aren't fully dark. And then in post, it becomes much easier to move that stuff around. So then you can adjust them accordingly in a separate pass. You don't have to achieve it in D-Real. What's up, man? Yeah, stream's pretty chill so far. So far, so good. Okay, we're gonna jump to the next one. Let me just make sure I close these ones. Okay, next one. Next one is from Pellin. I'll just drag this in here. Look at this. Pretty cool. I'd put a plane on the ground just so that you get some like contact shadow, or like green screen type plane on the ground to get the contact shadow. And then you can remove the green screen, right? And just have like the contact shadow. You should be able to do contact shadow without a surface, if that makes sense. I'm just going to drag a few things in here. You have a texture map in here as well. So I do see that you're showing us like the UVs, or you're showing this map. So you're saying you need help with texturing. You feel like it's not there yet. I use Anastrophe for the engine and Clear Coat for the body and Marmoset. My textile density is 14. What what is that? 14.4 pixels per centimeter. So 4K one texture. I thought I was doing UDIM, but didn't want to in the end. Okay. Let's move a few things around here. I'm just gonna like, can I just dupe this canvas thing? No. No, I cannot. Give a second here. Just gonna try and piece this together a bit. And then I think these are rasterized already, but no? Hang on here. There we go. Nice. Okay. I mean, generally, this is looking pretty cool. There is a sense of like stretching that's happening around. Oh, no, it's not. That's not stretching all that much. I think these inner cuts feel really shallow. And there's, it feels a bit low poly here, just in the way that it's baking. It looks like it's warping a bit. But let's see here. Is this texture map that you were showing us, is this the roughness? Because UV-wise, it looks pretty good, but I don't see your UVs specifically, so I'm just gauging off of like how straight a lot of the elements are, vertical or horizontal, and then like how you're mapping a lot of your information. Like this feels a little. This type of detail is a little hard to explain what's happening here, and you can see like this feels much more blurry than the information that's happening on top. You want to try and avoid that blurriness. Oh, that's interesting. Let me see. Okay. It's the roughness. Nice. So you do have a lot of roughness detail going on, which is really good. I think you are getting enough variation between the different types of materials, and then there's some micro variation inside of the materials themselves. But think about like, this wouldn't be this shiny, for example, this seat, right? Think about the type of material it is. Think about how like a hot spot shows up on the side, like what the specular, we would call this a specular lobe in lighting. What is, I just got a message, hang on here. But yeah, the specular lobe on that surface, that's something you're definitely going to want to watch out for. Making sure that it feels accurate to the, oh. Maddie's sending me messages about cool houses we should buy. We're not buying a house. Not right now. I was like, what is that? It's exciting though. She sends me some cool stuff. The normals feel flipped here. Empire Real Estate. Like these crevices feel like more like veins, but I'm not sure. I could be reading this wrong. You might want to check, just flip the green channel and just see if it reads better. But you can see how reflective this is. Definitely like tone that down. Look at reference of the type of material you're trying to replicate, and that'll answer a ton of those questions, right? You also sent some renders of the roughness specifically, like the roughness pass. So I'm gonna bring that in here. And the albedo, I can bring that up here. There's a roughness here. Maybe I can put this down here. Yeah, so while this is metallic, right? And you can see like in your, oh, do I have a front view albedo? I do. Cool, okay. So this being bright is really helping albedo wise to get that separation when you get the final render. So you can get the difference between the paint and then this metal itself. One thing to keep in mind is some of the elements just don't read fully. Like this is another part where you can see that it just goes black, right? You sent a screenshot of the UVs in Critique. Oh, okay, cool. So you can see how they become black. That's definitely something you're going to want to try and address. Like you could fake some inner workings, take some of the pieces you've baked already. Some like, let me see if we can find, take this detail, for example, maybe like flatten the cone out or whatever, just duplicate, or even just grab this part here, duplicate it and put it inside of this. And then in Geo, just cut holes here. It doesn't even have to be alpha, but just cut holes here. So that way there's detail in there. You get this depth and a bit more volume and explanation as to like how things are put together. Even if you can't really see what's in there, you'll get something out of that, right? It won't feel as flat because of that. With the seat, getting some like creases or wrinkles here and softening up the edge a little bit, if possible. I know you're already into the texturing phase. That could be something to react to. It's also more polys definitely here, which is odd because like, I mean, I'm looking at the wireframe and there should definitely be enough polys to do that because of how much Geo I'm seeing here. Overall, this looks pretty good. There's a little bit of skewing and stuff here, but generally this looks like you're UVing pretty well. Ziggy, what's up? Good to see you. But yeah, there should definitely be more Geo here to support the curves that you're wanting, because you can see it here. It looks nice and smooth. A few other things to maybe highlight is the engine piece going into the frame. You want to have like a better transition here. Like you could maybe do it in the texturing, but I would assume you'd want to model a way to describe how that's all put together. I'm assuming this would just protrude out of the body of the yellow frame. So like the yellow frame would maybe even like have like a lip and then even open up as it goes down, and then this would just be like going into the void inside, right, where the metal just starts to, that goes into the darkness. I think that'll help explain more how things are put together, because this transition between the metal to the frame or the shell or body, if you want to say it like that, is very unnatural. Like this is an unnatural transition here. But material-wise, I mean, it's all in the roughness, which you have nice detail and variation. But think about like, if it's this dirty, think about how someone uses this. Where are all the scuff marks from the shoes, the footprints, the area that's always getting stepped on. Like this is a really good opportunity for like a little foot pad that's maybe more rubbery, which will give you a different like roughness profile. Because then from there you have another detail that I'm gonna see if I can fake this. You have another detail that you can use to kind of break it up more. And that'll give you, in your roughness, that's going to be a much brighter detail, right? This type of gradation happening here feels a little odd. I don't think that would be in your roughness. And it getting so dark in here in your roughness also is not something you would normally see. Basically gradients and really bright, because like this is so bright that the inside of this is probably an ash-like surface. So something to watch out for. Yeah, try to see what else we got here. I guess just be careful with putting ambient occlusion as like a surface breakup in your roughness map. Did you have any, Pelin, did you have any other questions when it came to these types of things? Because I think also like maybe the rust feels right now feels a bit forced. Let me see if need to like where did I paint this? It was here. There we go. I think right now you're probably, it feels like you're painting it in. I would see if you can use an alpha to do that. And have a layer, a material layer with rust to do this. And then use an alpha, like rust alphas from real life to expose those surfaces a bit more. The really nice thing about doing it in like material layers like that is you can force the normal of the rust to be lower in space, which allows for this to feel like the paint is lifted around the where the rust is. So you get that nice kind of natural separation. I guess the other reason for doing that is because you are paying for a full res texture. So you might as well just get in there and make that detail. Your reference confused you a lot. I wonder if like, because I've been following your post. I'm like, way whoa. Yeah, I've been following your post, but then you're also pinging it in critiques and in Weibo, right? So, but yeah, I would see what you can do about finding reference or masks of roughness, or not roughness, masks that are like creating the rust shapes that you see in real life, and then converting those into masks that you can use as like stamps and whatnot. That'll help you a ton. And just looking at like, don't rely just on the concepts or the reference that you have, and find as many references as you can on specific things like rust and the like. If that makes sense. Oh, weird. I just realized that the Discord time is offset for the for the Discord critiques event. That's great. That's fantastic. Cool. You sent the reference in. Okay, let me see here. Thank you. Right, so if we drag this in here. Dude, this art's really cool. This so what I would say is really important is this is the concept, and the reference should be everything that inspires the surfaces and the concept. Right? So you know that this is a scooter or a moped. And then from that moped, yeah, see you've got some good stuff here with like real, yeah, you can see these details here. These are great. Like adding those and these panel lines, these are the details that help like ground the, yeah, see this is like a little engine thing in there. Just cut some details out and you can get that depth. And yeah, I mean, it does look like you did gather a lot of reference. Like this one's also quite good for just seeing the shape form. Because I remember when you were posting the side views. Like this one was probably the most the most recent. And this is quite interesting when you look at like, let's see if we scale this down. I'm sure this is more adjusted than what we're looking at here, but seeing how shape language wise, how stuff will be informed from it. Like maybe we can eyeball it here. As you can see how far forward this comes. This is stuff that you would feed back on for the block out before building the low poly and UVing it and baking it and stuff, right? So I don't want to dive too deep into that. And I remember you got some feedback from me before on like shape and form and stuff. So in the future, I would definitely like look at like this reference is perfect for it because then you can really see the shape language for how it is. I think what you have has actually turned out really cool, and it's just a matter of like finishing the execution on the material pass. When it comes to like looking up Rust is like I wonder if you can just type in like Rusty Vespa. Oh man, I might have found like a. Okay, hang on. This is very rusty. But this is like a YouTube video. So these are nice because then you can see like how the surfaces wear and like where detail happens. And when they do these deconstruction videos, you get to see a lot of like the parts and like how stuff kind of gets dirty. Of course, you don't want to go too dirty, right? But understanding like this is nice too because these are the rails for the feet. Like there's some really good damage detail you can see. You don't have to go this wild again, right? But I wish I could find something more Rust specific. Oh, that's quite interesting. It has not too much like real Rust going on or like proper metal restoration. This one as well. Just seeing like the type of rust and where it's occurring. A lot of it's going to be in the foot area because that's just where water is going to collect and build up. There's a great ArtStation learning tutorial on Rusty Metal. Dude, you can link that in chat if you want. But yeah, I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to the final. Looked up a lot of car fixing videos. Awesome. Yeah, it's not easy. If you ever see details of like rust patterns or damaged wood materials, stuff like that, like any like surface differences, like chipped paint, like you should just take a picture of it because you could probably get something out of it. Like, look, this is, hang on. This is my phone. This is me like photogrammetry wood because I have a call on Saturday talking about wood Boolean sculpting. This, I should be able to get something interesting out of this contrast. We got pictures of Mario just chilling. But yeah, like this stuff, making these black and white and just kind of extracting some mask information out of it. Huge. There's something there. Definitely. But really cool. It's cool to see you I would say what you're working on right now is pushing yourself, which is always fun to watch. Seeing someone like, going for it. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's jump to the next one. They're starting to pile up a little bit. Jolix is just graduating from TGA, the Game Assembly, which is a school that's in Malmo, but I believe it's also in Stockholm, or not Stockholm, but in the UK, if I recall correctly. Big fan of that school. So let's move this over here. So first one. So you're looking at this one. Dude, nice. Face purple crying. This looks cool. Ooh, some nice movement as well. I think the thing that sticks out to me the most is the weight of that ball moving. It kind of feels like it's sliding, but it also is moving at a speed that feels different from the wind. Like these are kind of flowing one way, but then the particles are flowing another way, and then this is moving kind of the same way, but I'm not sure. That type of stuff. The lighting is pretty cool. It is very single. It feels like a single color. Let me see if we can get this to work here. Really good piece though. Like it's more about like trying to find ways to elevate it than like say like what the heck, man. Like it looks good. It looks really good. I think there's a photo color grading, retouching, type composition. I think it's color grading. Might be retouching. I'm just going to turn both those on. So the nice thing about Affinity is you can see you can just like, you just have these different modes that you can just switch between. So if we go to like, let's see here, not levels, white balance. I mean, I guess if you went white balance and we cooled it off, you don't want to cool it off too much, but using that with like a mask and then controlling, where it's cooler. That's definitely something that you could do. I'm like, why can't I make this softer? Is it because we're in a... What? Is it the brush that I'm using? I'm like, what is happening? Oh, it might be the brush I'm using. Acrylics, basic, masking. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, so if you had like stuff that's in the shadows, like having a cooler tone to it, that could be interesting. Just to get some differences in there, It's very subtle what I'm doing, because I think overall it is already pretty cool. And it's just trying to find some ways to get some other color in there. I mean, maybe that's even a little too blanche, Root motion feels off on the ball. Yeah, that's what you're looking at, is the root motion. I'm no animator, so I have no idea. But overall, scene is really cool. I think with some elements, they feel a little out of place. So like the edge details, the micro detail that's happening, and like the way things are beveled feels pretty consistent until you see the door. The door is much wider in some of the details that are on it. And maybe even the surface feels, well, here it's not as dark, but here it feels a bit dark, which is quite interesting. There's a nice light being placed here just to kind of draw attention to it. And you know, TGA, man, you're missing out on the little birdie sketch. But there's some really nice storytelling going on in here. I think the cloth being so evenly distributed feels a little strange, or you start to get this like pattern. Some areas get a little too contrasty or a little too dark, and the light angle is really like forcing the normals to get really strong, right? So in those cases, when the light angle can get like that intense, it might be good to like lower the strength of the detail normal, or add some add some variation of the strength of the normal map. This is cool. Also very like, it's very it's punchy, maybe in like in a really intense way. So it doesn't really fit the rest of the style of the scene. So it's more of a consistency thing, trying to make sure that all lines up to be the same. These look nice. Dude, are those sticky notes? I don't know how you get sticky notes to stick on stone, but that's impressive. They give off the sticky note vibe. Yeah, there's some nice stuff going on here. Nice layering as well. I'd be a little careful on getting too bloomy on the material itself. It feels like it's bloomy. And then with the cobble surfaces, it's very even how much spacing is between the stones. And I think trying to find a more natural spacing where they can vary a little bit. So there's a range of like a little tighter and then a little wider instead of a very consistent, even setting. Especially with the age on these, like I'm expecting some of them to be tilted and shifted and whatnot. Nice little view of the modular set. The pieces are really thick looking. I think generally you'll be good with like 30 centimeters thickness with modular sets, and then that's just stuff you don't have to worry about. But I mean, maybe you're doing this for other technical lighting reasons. This is pretty cool. I think getting some, again, with the detail normal that's on there, if you applied a mask to control the detail normal, you can remove it or soften it where the sewing seams are. And that'll make it feel a little bit more consistent. This also looks really cool, but maybe like again, it feels really strong, like normal wise. Like things are really turned up. So be careful with like how much you turn that up. It feels like the normal maps are like 1.5 strength or even 2x strength when they should just try and keep them at 1. Because you don't want them to read too chunky, if that makes sense, or too noisy or strong. I think that's maybe one of the more the bigger takeaways from all the stuff I'm seeing is the normal maps tend to be really, really strong in your work, like strength wise. The details are there and that looks good, but then you're like really amping them up, and I'd be more hesitant to like try and tone them down. Also, this looks like a bit of a current weakness you have is how to like make this type of surface look good. And it's really high poly for what you're doing here. Like, I'm guessing this is sculpted and it looks like you decimated it or something, or remeshed it and then it triangulated it, which is why you're getting this pattern. But like this, in the way that it's been made, this should be like 1.5K at no visible difference. But you're gonna want to look at like making a core that is like this, and then maybe these bands are modeled, and then from that modeled band you can add planes that have like alpha that look like the strands to help just fill it out a bit more, and then it'll feel more natural that way. These feel really nice. Again, the normal is too strong, or like the detail normal feels a little too strong. I'm not sure what the resolution on this is, but my gut feeling is these are not detail normals and these are baked in. Just a gut feeling though, I could be very wrong. Be careful with the alphas reaching right at the edge, because as this mips down, you can simulate this as well. Go into Unreal and just lower the LODs of the texture and see what happens. See if you get any weirdness around leaves that are on the edge of the texture. You basically want to add padding around the outside edge as well. RGB masks, nice. I would be curious to see what the masks look like. Nice, you got some decals, that's good. Oh yeah. Gotta love those clay renders. Dude, see how freaking, this is so OP. This feels so good. Oh, it's really nice. But yeah, you don't want to, it feels like a lot of your materials are very like crispy or overcharged. But really cool. Some nice like technical stuff going on in here as well. This one's interesting because it feels like this material is on top of the, or it's supposed to be on top of the brick, but this actually looks like it's under the brick. So it's more of like thinking about how the normals read and how they look as they layer on top of each other. Like, is this intended to be on top? Is this like a stucco? And then you're painting away the stucco to reveal the brick? Because this feels like you're painting this away to reveal the brick. And I don't know what this is. Oh, this is really nice, though. Overall, extremely strong piece. All the stuff I'm pointing at is just ways to push it further, or push this type of stuff further in the future, or things to keep in mind. Really cool. Really, really cool. Nice job. Nice job, dude. You guys are having your... didn't you have a show and tell, or like not a show and tell, like a job fair type of setup like this week? Pretty sick, man. Nice job. Okay. If you have other questions, just let me know. I'll be here. Let's get on to Eden's. All right, so Eden. So I will acknowledge that this is a vague ask for feedback. Apart from the lack of texture blending, which I am working on as we speak. Oh, hell yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited. I've done some stuff, but it's small. How does the scene look texture-wise and asset-wise? Is there things I should add more of? And general thoughts on the lighting of the scene. So I feel like, let me think here as I stare into the abyss. Generally, I like your edges more. Like the edge work you're doing on the surfaces feels much nicer. It feels maybe a bit wild down here. like a lot of it all over, and very consistent, so it feels a bit more unnatural. Of course, the blending, right? But you said you're working on that, so I'm gonna just ignore. We got some caustics going on. I think if this in motion could look pretty sick. I don't know if you're planning to do like things in motion. If you are doing things in motion, I would see if you can get I don't know how to describe it, a warble. So it's like amorphous a little bit. It's in motion, sick. Getting this to be like, you know, that sound. I don't know what that sound is, but that sound. Warbly. I feel like what you're missing now is, since you've done the pass on your foliage, it's missing the same impact it had in the block out. Like, and because what I liked in the block out, which I don't know if you can post the block out when the foliage wasn't modeled yet. It's that, like, one moment. All right, let's go. It's that that sensation. I'm just gonna grab this and like, so all these like kelpie looking details. What is going? Is it this one? 100. Is it because it's wet? Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I mean, maybe I don't need the oils, basic acrylics. Dude, I'm digging that acrylic brush I was playing with. So getting these details and using them to frame, I think that critiques. All right, let's go. So you can see how much more there was here, like these. Getting that, dude, that's where it's at. I think if you can take these and then just like scatter them about and just, you know, have them taper off and then have these ones doing their thing. It's just a matter of like filling it out more. It feels like you will benefit a lot from like filling that out. Because you can use that to ground so many things. And you can like it'll help you like separate the elements a bit more. Just because you can, you know, you can put that detail back here. And then with these guys, I don't think I can even fake this. I don't know. Let me see. I'm just gonna like, how do I do this? I'm just gonna do this. It's gonna be terrible. So if you had these details, no, come on, man. Is this, there we go. Taking these and like scaling them down and having like transitions, like make like 3 of these of different like formations. Dude, how come I cannot freaking duplicate? You're killing me. These will work wonders. And then using the green on top, oh my God, to like just kind of like build it all together. What is happening in my computer? It's not happy. It's not happy. Wow. Something got weird. There we go. Yeah, those elements, it's gonna go wild if you do this type of stuff. It'll just push it that much more. Cause like right now, this is like one piece. You need like 2 others that are of different shapes and maybe like different fall offs. So that way you can do these like little ones here. And then like have one that's here that helps like fall off. So it's not just like, oh yeah, you have this one. So now you've got two. Maybe this is a third, or maybe it's this one like pushed in the ground. But getting some like smaller ones, those are gonna help so much. Because you can see like as you fill it out, it's just gonna be like, Like I can see it, man. I don't know. Do you see what I'm talking about? Cause yeah, I think with all of that stuff, it'll kind of just tie it all together. Don't forget little bubbles. You need little bubbles, you know, doing their thing. Just add more, add more shit. No, it's dude, I can't cuss to save my life. I think the adding more shit layer is more like it's as long as it's consistent. I like what was happening in the block out, and I think doing this will make it happen. Yeah, what you already have. But yeah, I mean, I know you get what I mean. But really cool. Really, really cool. Also, don't hesitate to change the height of the sand some more. It feels quite, given the bands that we're seeing here, it doesn't really feel like those bands are there. Like I would grab those points and like raise them up a little bit, you know, lift them. But cool. Dope sauce. Let's see here. I'm gonna hit the next piece now. Alejandro. Apologies. This is your current work in progress. First time stream critiques. Dude, welcome. Welcome. Happy to be here. I'm happy to have you. You're currently doing material work and setting up a way to get a nice blend between them. I'm looking for feedback on how the wall materials look. I feel like it's not looking realistic. And how can I get a nicer blend between them? I plan on adding palm decals and maybe even a third material blend to get grungier, more dirty, worn plaster into it. I'm overall looking for general feedback as well. If you have anything, things that look off and need addressing before moving forward. Okay. So the wall materials, let's just copy this. Man, I love the colors you're using in this, by the way. It was fun to paint on this because the color palette was fun to pick from. So, let me think here. Is there a reference for this? Because I'm trying to understand like how this is put together. Like a concept, yeah, concept, and don't stop at concept. You got to have like way more than that. You don't have to share that with me, but like just understanding the elements that you're working with is going to be really, really important. And a concept alone will never give you enough information. But oh, I just saw my webcam little Nick's chilling right here. Boop, 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 boop. I think when it comes to like how to push the wall, material wise, this is feeling pretty cool. There's some nice breakup that's happening. It looks like you're using the height map to get these to pop through. They don't have the depth that you're looking for. You're going to want ambient occlusion since most things are in shadow here. Material ambient occlusion is going to help you get that depth kind of back in your materials themselves. But don't stop there. Like in the geometry, try and get some depth as well. So like this door frame, for example, feels like it's placed on the wall, like a photo frame. Little bit with these as well. It's not as bad, but like push that stuff in. Like you could take the wall itself and let the wall be there, and then push the frame in. So you have like an edge for the wall. Like that could even give you like a little like, I don't know, it's not really a stoop, but like a little edge that you can place something on if you want. And then the frame is there. Maybe the window or like the thing that looks like the window, the cover piece is like further in even. So you get that depth. It's the same with the door. Like push this door in like twice as deep and it'll just feel more solid. Like the wall will feel more thick because like we have no sense of the thickness of this wall, and all the elements that are on it feel more placed on the surface instead of like going in. Window seal, thank you, Green. When you're getting your block out meshes in here, and then you get like the final, or let's say like a normal pass. So you got your normal maps on there. Try and put like a albedo and a roughness that's kind of close. It can just be a constant color for now, but just try and get those close. That way they're not fighting for your eyes' attention when you're looking at like the differences between the elements. Because that'll really help with like you're doing it with the windows, which is good. Doing it with the door would be good. The wood beams, like you can see that there's some color here. Even if these aren't textured yet or whatnot, you can just put a constant that matches this, and instantly you're seeing a much clearer picture of like what the surfaces are going to look like and how dark they actually are. This will help inform you more on like what to do with your lighting as you like push into the lighting phase. Which at this point, like I think lighting makes a lot of sense right now to be figuring out what that looks like. And yeah. Yeah, it does feel like these feel really flat right now, and I think if you were using nanite, you could probably use a height map to displace those. Yeah, I would. So in your current stage, I would get all of your materials averages on there, like just the roughness and a color, and then do your lighting pass, because that'll help inform a bunch of information. And then from there, you can just continue to execute. Because like this line here feels really sharp. This feels really sharp. This one's really sharp. Finding ways to break like this is pretty good. You're breaking this up. I'm actually not too worried about the wall right now. There definitely needs to be some depth work on the materials, and then a gradient, right, for the dirtiness of the wall, for example. So if we like if I just take, I'm just gonna eyeball this. We'll just go up like that. Can I just subtract from this? Ooh, nice. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Just gonna like run and gun. Whoa, what was that? It was like there we go. So yeah, getting like a dirtiness pass on that is gonna be delicious. I don't know if I can. Oh man, I don't think that's gonna. Maybe I lower this and go further. Dude, I'm digging this brush. digging this brush. Okay. I'm just gonna just doodle around a little bit. Can I just invert this? Yeah, cool. Whoops. How did I turn that on? I have a before and after layer. I'm literally Googling right now. Before and after toggle in Affinity. I'm like, how? I have no idea how I turn that on, and it's gonna bug the crap out of me. It's not even working. I'm on a discovery. Yes, dude, we're on an adventure right now. That is something wild. I don't know. Dude, look, it's just chilling here. Is it because I have this on? No idea. Okay, well, I'm going to deselect everything. I'm just going to shove this over here, and we're going to ignore that. And then I'm going to go to this layer, and then we're just going to do like, I don't know, like a overlay maybe? Yeah, and then really tone it down. So we're just kind of looking at like getting some variation from the bottom up, right? I don't know if you need to do this in a decal. I feel like you could do that in the shader. But I mean, a decal is going to work as well. Man, that is irritating. I'm like, can I... I think this might bug me too much. I need to figure out how to turn this off really fast. Customize toolbar. Split view. Just put that up here. One thing I really like about it's this split view. I don't understand what you're splitting the view of, though. Okay, well, there we go. Cool. Just like a tint mask. You mean for the for this bottom stuff? No, I mean like in the shader you can build it so it's like world space from like a certain level up. You just get a gradient and you can add noise and details into that, or a mask that just gradually goes away. But I think for the speed of things, a decal will work just fine. That's placed on the surface. It could even be projected if you really need it to be. But yeah. Exile, dude, good to see you. Good evening. Unvic, dude, welcome. Okay, let's keep trucking along here. I hope all of that made sense to you. If there's any extra details or information you're looking for, that just totally jump into our Discord. It's here. And ask the questions for sure. Exile, it's good to see you, man. All right. To the next one. So we got Jamie. I'm going to just drag this over here. Delete these bad boys. And then you've got your reference, which is this, or the concept you're going off of. I'm just going to do that. And we're going to see how crazy you are. Yep, you're crazy. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Dude, this gets kind of weird over here. That's me. Nice. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. So, mainly looking for feedback on the art direction that I'm going for so far. I need to implement some storytelling too. I'm thinking of setting it as the last working water source in the desert. There are still a few block out meshes remaining, and I need to do a big pass on the blends and decals to increase the wear and tear. Okay, let's peekaroo. I'm just gonna, how am I gonna do this? I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna put this here, and then this one I'm just gonna do like this. All right. So definitely block out the rest of your pieces, but I feel like there are a ton of things in this concept that you're just missing. Or like the sensation of detail is missing. Right? So like, I don't know if you're gonna want to go that far, but like removing the tiles and just building like a back piece to all of this. There's like all that inner workings. There's a bunch of like little micro props, like the spoon and stuff. There's all those details we're missing right now. And a lot of that is, I think, what's going to contribute to the fidelity of the space. Other than, of course, like you can see the sand here. Dude, I think this started as a block out or like modeled, because you can see how the sand is poking here. You wouldn't paint it like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, getting all those small details, like you could make, like if you blocked out and kind of, if you textured like these two, maybe like these ones, you could probably reuse them in a bunch of different ways and just color shift the variations of them and like rotate them around. Do like the cereal box with like the labels and stuff, but then like the branding on one side and then on the other side, a different brand. So you could just spin and rotate them around and just go wild with them. I think it'll go a very, very long way in building out the rest of the scene. There's stuff out in the distance, and then I see a tree. You might be able to get away with like hiding that a little bit. There's a little bit of light coming through in the back room there, and I think you'd benefit from getting some light in there just to like feel like it's just different. It's just a different, it's separating itself. Because right now it just kind of falls into the back. But I think because the lighting is cutting into the shot so much, let's see if we can't simulate, you know what I mean? I don't think we can, because I can't push this around all that much. Yeah, no, I can't do it. I mean, maybe if I blast this way up and then we like look at the what is it called? Nope. Saturation. Anyone? Push the saturation down. Cool. And we'll group these. And then I'll mask it. And then invert it. I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of this program. Nice, as I say. Nope. We need a different brush, that's for sure. Masking. B. Yes, even just, it just helps separate the space out a little bit, I think. But yeah, it really just needs all the little details, and then there's a lot of stuff that's going on the outside, which you might be able to fake in some way or another. But like, I think when I read your message, mainly looking for feedback on the art direction. The art direction is this concept. So what you're targeting is this look, right? The clutterness, the detail on the sand. You have some pretty decent blending going on, and some of the stuff that you have modeled looks pretty good. But I think it's more about capturing the cluttered busyness of the dilapidation, if you will. Yeah, the ceiling is blue as well, which is quite interesting. Oh, you look at that little highlight there. It's coming from this. But yeah, the ceiling being blue, that would help a lot, I think, actually. That's a good catch, sir. I just like eyeball this. Okay, yeah. Flawless. Like bluish. It's like, I don't know if that's the right, maybe. Yeah. Anyways, getting that to like pop for the rest of the scene, I think that helps a ton. Something like that. It's kind of hitting on like the blues you're getting in here and the blues that are here. Exile. It'll be all right. Maybe not that. Maybe not that blue. Yeah. Oh man. And maybe aligned. There we go. Nice. But yeah, from a art direction standpoint, you can see like there's the ceiling in the back there. There's like some bluer elements in the back also. But it's really, I think it's really these micro details. And the other comment you said, you want to do some storytelling. You're thinking setting it as the last working water source in the desert. How do you imagine that to manifest itself? Like, what does that look like? What does the last water source in the desert look like? And my brain is telling me that there needs to be foliage, if that's the case, because that's the only thing to really tell you that there's water, right? I feel like that's the main component that's going to really push the water. So I guess if you're talking about dripping water here, you probably want some like wet sand down here, maybe a single plant growing or something like that. But yeah, I would block out a small kit of micro clutter stuff. Small kit, I'm saying like maximum 7 props. Maximum. Maybe even 5 is enough. Especially if you can find ways to mix and match them so that they look different and you can just like change the tinting and all that stuff. To just get a lot of that detail in here. There's also some metal elements that are in the concept that I think if you add in here are really going to push the surfaces. Like you're doing the metalness here, and I think just adding like the metal pan, there's like a little metal pan here. Like those elements, those are going to, like these pots and stuff and the spoons. Oh man. And then back here, there's a dresser and it looks like that's maybe glass or something. Getting those elements back there is really going to help like elevate all these little details. You're thinking about a sign above the sink saying when it was last maintained, broken water containers around it, things like that. See, that doesn't tell me that it's the last water source though, or that there is a water source. You could put a sign that says still working. Yeah, because usually when you're trying to portray something or storytell something, you usually have to turn it up to 11 or it just doesn't register with people. That's why like thematics in games will be so like punchy and like over the top sometimes to just really like drive it home. So it's so clear to any viewer. Oh yeah, okay, that that thing definitely still works because there's plants growing around it. But I think that'll bloat your production time if you had to like try and deal with that. That's why I was saying maybe like one small little plant or something. Anyways, I mean, it's looking pretty cool. It just, I think you need to do the detail pass in your blockouts, prop with them, and then you're going to be good to go. Then it's just a matter of like execution. Like when you squint, you're getting the same vibe. That's a good sign. The ceiling adjustment I did, that helps a lot, I think. There's some nice like contrast and dirtiness between the planks as well. And I think right now yours are very like they feel very fresh still. Like they haven't lost their color yet. In a way, you know? Yeah, cool. I hope that's helpful. All right, we're at 15 minutes left. I think we're not getting to everyone's stuff. Oh, Alejandro posted some. Ooh, Jamie, bro. That's some sick ref. Ivan, I don't know if I'll get to your stuff before the stream ends. But let's see where I land. Cool. Okay, next up. Is it Mexico? Mexico? Dude, I never know. I feel bad. I'm sorry. You're getting close to done with this, huh? It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty nice. Thanks in advance. Okay, and then you've got your what's going on with these? Why are these? For the contrast here is a version without DaVinci's LUTs. Oh, in DaVinci, I see. Getting close to finishing this project, but I have run into a wall. I have been tweaking the color grading for a while now and can't get it to look what was suggested to me. Do you have any suggestions on how to achieve more bluish shadows? I mean, in color grading, you can isolate the shadows and add blue to them. You might want to try doing it in the scene where you, the sky contribution is applying a color in the bounce. It's a cursed name. It's a cool name, man. I just don't know if I'm saying it right. So you want blue. You're using blue color in the skylight and also thought it would help, but it only creates weird highlights in the water. If you have something other to add, that's a tough one because, I mean, this is really warm and this is without the LUT color grading. I would try and get a little closer to this inside of Unreal. But I guess it's just the color grading that's doing that. I also think that the backdrop behind the building is too strong. Like if I'm gonna take your color graded one, and then we will levels it. Actually, what I'll do first is this. I'm just gonna do this. Boop. Oh, I don't actually know how far back that building is. You know? I mean, I think the other thing you could do is just in post, take the shadows and bring them up, which I guess you're doing in the LUTs, right? I only use DaVinci to generate LUTs and then include into Unreal. Oh. Interesting. Okay, this is going to be a little jank. But I think you can see what I'm trying to do here. Because you really want to get that separation going in. I think anyways. Yeah, as you can see. The hell? There we go. It's interesting too because you can still get the value of the treason. You just want to try and separate it out a little bit. Bro. There we go. Like, come on. But yeah, you can see how much the building will pop out because of this. I think from a shadow standpoint, I mean, I don't know if in the color grading shadows, this is just, let's wipe the shadows out. That is not retouching. White balance, exposure, vibrance, curves. I mean, maybe you want to take your LUTs. Oh, wow. This is like default. Cool. Lens filters, split toning. Oh, man. You need to be able to isolate your shadows. I feel like you can do that in the post-processing volume, and just isolate the shadows and apply a color to them. But I have not done that in an eternity, so I wouldn't be able to help you directly with that one, sadly. I mean, it doesn't even need to be fog. It's just atmosphere. Like, you can see what we're looking at here. I mean, you don't need it. It just, I want to see the building a bit more. It could be on one side and then like you could remove it from the other side. But you can see how much it separates out the building. I mean, it doesn't even need to be over here. But like you want to get that line of separation right here. Because without it, it all just kind of melts together. Yeah, I don't know. It could be also more of a personal taste. Because overall, it feels really good. We should let's look into this coloring shadows topic. You should start a thread in the well, it doesn't even need to be a thread, but in the art discussion channel, I would mention how do you guys add or contribute color information to your shadows in Unreal? Someone will definitely respond to that. Overall, scene's looking pretty sick though, man. Very, very nicely done. I need to see it in motion. Okay, Connor. I'd love some feedback on improving my lighting and presentation of my latest piece. So if it's just a relight, I mean, you might be doing more with lighting than I do. Improving lighting. Let's see. So I think in this stuff, it's going to be about like, oh, I didn't even notice those windows were on, dude. So I think the temperature of the windows needs to be boosted. The fog is maybe a little too strong. Is this you, Wipeout? The fog feels like it might be so strong that you lose a sense of depth. Like it's hard to, you can see before, like there's this layer of fog and then you went further. And I think over here it's nice because you're getting separation of the trees. But back here you lose all of your depth. So you lose this sense of distance being gained. It just like flattens out. Whereas here it makes sense. I would maybe remove the extra layers of fog here. And before, so in the before image, is there, hang on here. So in the before lighting, there's a clear sense of direction with the light. And of course, that's because it's daytime, right? Overcast is probably one of the hardest. And I think with this overcast, pushing the man-made lights, the human touch, like the windows and stuff, making those brighter and making like that same effect on this one and maybe like lighting the inside of the doorway is how you draw like a new attention to the scene, because everything else is so much more overcasted. Like this one feels really alive and this one feels dull, right? But it's dull for the reasons that it's overcast. Overcast is dull. But because of that, you've removed the directionality that you get with the original lighting. So you need to reintroduce the direction to the viewer, which I think the best way to do it is like how you were doing it with these windows. And it just needs to be emphasized more. Like those just, they just don't feel, I don't know, they don't feel bright enough, maybe. It's hard to say. And then being careful with the fog, like we were talking about, just how much it could be flattening out the shot. This is cool. It's all very orangish, right? Late afternoon. Local lights, yeah, local lights could enhance the scene. What's up, Wipeout? So Hova, is this you? See, this one also, like, it is a relight, but I think the focus is supposed to be, in this shot, is supposed to be the dock and maybe even the trailer here. And just a ton gets lost. This one's not, this one I like. It's hard to know if the trees are getting too backlit, like it feels unnatural. Yeah, interesting. Oh, got a werewolf. See, this doesn't feel like night to me. Like the color is different. Like cinematic light or cinematic nighttime. It doesn't really feel like nighttime. Dude, there are a ton of things in here. It's good that you're looking at palettes of existing scenes to try and emphasize it. You can see that localized lighting that's down here. You can see how bright those windows are. Those are much brighter they pop so much, and you need to get that pop to happen here. These need to be like 3 times as bright to match that reference. So look at the brightness of that. Okay, I think I can get to your stuff, Ivan. I'm just clicking these all open. Okay. And there's a video too. This is a project inspired by a Spanish poet called it's a Spanish poet, so is it Vaha Inclán? Or Vea Inclán? I could be very wrong. I don't know. I wanted to represent his vibes in life creating this desk, which he sat and wrote poems. I'd like to have some feedback on it. So it could be great to, it would be of great help if you know what could be better and so on. I still need to wrap this up and post on an ArtStation. Still need to work on the breakdown. Sharing several shots since the diorama was designed to be explored from different angles. Lastly, I shared the black and white image, trying to simulate how it could have been captured back in 1920. Dude, that's cool, man. I've also shared a video if you want to watch it. Okay, let's take a look at this first. So there's some nice details going on around here. The edge highlights here feel a bit artificial or like harsh or angular, so it feels unnatural. Let's do this. Hang on here. What the heck am I doing? There we go. So be careful with how dark this is. We were looking at the edges here. This feels like it might be a bit unnatural. This greening that's happening, I'm assuming that's coming from some type of reference. It feels a little odd to me. But, I mean, maybe that's there. Dude, this lighting setup is sick. I like this one. It's got a nice mood to it. I think the thing that's maybe sticking out to me the most is the flatness of the paper. Definitely paper can be quite flat in real life, but I think if you can find ways to curl it up a bit so it just kind of lifts itself a little bit more from the table, that'll help a lot with the like depth of it. But yeah, a lot of these things that I'm highlighting can be usually fixed pretty quickly. The nighttime version, or like this like evening version, I really like because you start to get these contrasts of different materials popping through, like all the metals and reflective surfaces. This feels really strange wax-wise. That's a serious flame too. The wax feels like it's not being affected correctly, like it needs a subsurface. It's also super blown out, so it's like maybe too strong brightness-wise. So the entire environment feels a little like this feels artificially bright. The flame looks pretty cool though. Let's keep going through here. Yeah, a lot of these shots are really nicely detailed, and it's maybe more of the contrast of how dark some stuff gets. So it gets really like busy and crunchy. There's a noise that's happening on the paper that you might want to tone down. Just because it makes the image really like crunchy on the eyes. See, in this shot, the crunchiness isn't as intense. So it might just be the way the lighting is affecting the materials. That's quite interesting. Because this one's really hard to look at. Like it's maybe overly bright. And this one is softer and easier on the eyes, but I know that in that other shot you wanna achieve like a a daytime. So it's probably just a bit too bright. So it's blowing out a lot of that information. Oh, that's cool. The glasses are probably a bit overly distorted. So maybe tone that down a little bit. Maybe half the distortion, because you want to be able to see what it's distorting and not just like these look like really bad glasses, basically. But yeah, I think a lot of it is going to come down to that and like the way your roughness is being read. Like this generally feels pretty good, and we're not getting much in here outside of like the metal here, the little highlights here, a little bit of highlights here, and then there's some like normal information that the roughness can kind of play with a little bit. So think about like how different roughness can be material to material, even if it's just by like a 1 or 2 in value. Getting a lot of information in your roughness is going to be key. And you can see again, like when the lighting gets toned down and you start to see more information, this to me is more provoking or like interesting to look at. So I think getting that contrast, I actually like your nighttime-ish shots more, because you're getting just so much more information out of your materials. So it might have something to do with the way you're doing your daytime lighting. A bit strong. It's kind of missing the blue that you get from the sky from the outside. So the room should fill with like a blue color, and then the directional light of the sun will cast the warmth in. Yeah, the nighttime renders are really, really nice. This one's really cool as well. Okay, the last thing I would say is to maybe like the noise that you're applying, I would lower the strength of it or really like subdue it so it's not too intense. Even in the shots that aren't the old ones, like the noise is just maybe a bit strong. But check your roughness variety and like the differences between all your materials. Getting some more depth on the paper through like curling corners and whatnot. Careful with the noise. Check your albedo values. Make sure nothing's too dark or too saturated or too bright. Check the wax effect you're going for with a candle. Look into subsurface, and I think that's it. Maybe like tone down the micro normal information on the walls. They're very, very strong. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool scene. Yeah, this surface here might be too dark. I don't know. It looks rusted. The whole thing looks rusted. I don't know if it would be rusted. Anyways, really cool. Yeah, see this? Oh, dude, I know that painting. This looks like it might be too dark. This also might be too dark. But really cool scene. This is all like little small, like just general tweaks that'll help benefit the scene overall. But nice job so far. I would say you're almost there. You're almost done. It's like these little tweaks. Little tweakage. Tweakity tweak. Okay. I think that's it. I think we're done. Thanks again, guys, for chilling. It was really good. We had just enough content to like fill the 2 hours. Really nice. Oh, the video, yes. Wait a minute. Hang on. Oh, am I not? Hang on. People got to hear it. I missed yours? No. Oh, that camera zoom is really fast, and then it stops really abruptly. Be careful with that. You usually want to have your shots move very consistently. Oh, wait a minute. I have no idea if that music's copywritten or not. We may be screwed. Well, we'll know. We'll know soon. Really cool, though. Oh, nice with the smoke on there. Ooh, and the transition? Dude. It was from Freesound? Dude, I don't trust any of those sites. No, but you're probably okay. Dude, did I really miss it? Hang on. Hang on. It's not fine, dude. It's Moment, yeah? We're going in. Jeremy, get out of here. One second. This one, yeah. Wait a minute, what's happening here? There's a transition that happens here. These camera cuts, I'd probably do the camera cuts. What is that? You see it? This like noise that's happening. Those camera cuts. This is it, by the way, right? This is Tobji. This is you. Just want to make sure didn't miss two people. Yeah. All right. Cool. Cool. Okay. So this one, I remember this scene, man. So this shot, I'm just gonna critique like hang on. I'm getting ahead of myself and stuff. Wanted feedback mainly on cinematic in terms of pacing. Disclaimer: this is copyrighted music on it. Also, there's a lot of generic texture and unfinished models. For now, story apart, abandoned kid in this environment who's obsessed with dinosaurs. Let's go. So I've muted everything, so don't worry about the music stuff. Nice, dude. That's awesome. The dinosaur stuff's coming through, which is nice. Man, there are a lot of shots you gotta like make happen. So I think if you want to push the dinosaur thing, you're gonna need different dinosaur shapes. Like I know there are different ones, but they don't really feel different. And like the way you're moving the camera, make sure the camera moves at a similar speed, which I think for the most part it is. But like this one feels different or like slower. And then like you're doing movement that's going somewhere, but then also tilting at the same time. Try and be more linear in your camera movements. Like think about like how movies, like this one's pretty good, even though it's doing two things. I don't know if you need all these shots. I would honestly, like this one, I'd remove this one. Just because it's it's a shot that's going to give you this, but you're going to have to build all of the stuff around it to get this. Do you know what I mean? Think about like the cost of time versus like benefit, if you want to say it like that. When it comes to that noise that we were seeing, this stuff, you see it here too. That transition that's happening, you could do all of the shots and then put them together in DaVinci after the fact. So something to keep in mind. The weight here, this feels really stiff, but maybe you know that already. The busyness of the materials here feel a little strong in the normal, but then also a little low res by comparison of like the ground, for example. And you're just gonna want to like make sure you add some like little leaves and stuff in the crevices and whatnot, just to kind of break up the surface and make it feel less like flat planes meeting flat planes. Always a really difficult thing to balance. This is gonna need like a lot of like surface work to make the ground feel natural and empty. I don't know. It feels like you're trying to tell a lot of things here, and I try and simplify the storytelling in this shot, for example, so that way you don't have to like you don't have to go wild trying to explain every detail. Like, what are you trying to say with the shot? Just say that. Don't try and like say the other things. Like, I don't know if you need this angle either. I think having this shot is already pretty cool. This one here. And think about how the camera moves in sequences. Like if you're not moving the camera and then it starts moving, it's good that it happens at the beginning. I like the beginning of this. But you're zooming in, now you're panning right, now you're panning down, now you're panning in, or like zooming in, panning right again. So think about the movement of the camera in correlation to like how the person would feel if they were on a ride. So you want to like connect all of those so that it feels the most natural and smooth and almost predictable in the way that it's going to flow. That way it doesn't feel jarring. But yeah, cool. It does look like you still have a ton to do because of all the different shots. Cut all the shots that add a lot of work but don't give you a lot of payoff, and try not to tell too many things in a single shot. Try to tell the one thing very clearly, and make sure that all the surfaces are connecting in a natural way, because I think that's something that is sticking out. And then your consistency of your materials. This feels like a textile density issue with the pillar and the floor. Just they feel different in resolution. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Now I will go. As long as I didn't miss anyone else. Dude, wild. Thanks for the poke. I don't mind you saying you missed me. I don't like missing people, man. I don't like it. All right, gentle folks. Thanks again. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy your Friday tomorrow. And yeah, I'll see you in Discord. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, I've been told to tell you I have a Patreon by my inner self. If you like what I do, you can support me there. Thanks, guys. Also good to see you, Exile. I'll see you on Discord.